Here are 10 easy nature activities to do at home. With the pandemic, there are restrictions on what is allowed at centers, but these can all be set up at your home. These activities are really easy and only require a few items to set up. Number 1 is mud pies. This activity is fun because children can get messy and it's sensory rich. You just need some sort of container. You can use plastic dishes or pots or pans. Even muffin trays are a good idea. You can use dirt or sand depending on what you have. You need water and natural objects if you want to decorate them. I use leaf flowers and rocks. Number 2 is nature blocks. These are made from old cut down branches. I did need to use a handsaw to cut these. Chances are you know someone who owns one if you don't have one. If the edges are rough, you might need to use some sandpaper on them. This is a good STEM activity where children can practice stacking and building. The wood slices are all different sizes for a good variety, and you can also use them to talk about the rings on them to see how old the tree was. Number 3 is painting nature. You can paint anything from nature: wood, rocks, leaves, nuts. You only need paint, paintbrushes, and natural materials of your choice. I painted some rocks with dots, some beech wood pieces, and I even painted some acorns in the fall, a very nice gold color. Number 4 is a textured garden. Nature offers such a rich variety of textures such as smooth, soft, rough, even bumpy. For this activity, it's all about discovering with your hands. You need a container of some sort and some dirt. You can use any materials you have available to you or purchase some at your local garden center. Number 5 is counting with nature. This is a math activity that allows children to explore using different natural materials for counting. I used rocks, but you can use leaves, sticks, seeds, nuts, whatever you would like. I used a wooden board, but you can use the sidewalk or a cemented area that the chalk will work on. Number 6 is nature weaving. This is a good fine motor activity that can also be an art creation. For this activity, you will need small sticks, yarn, and natural materials. You will need longer pieces of nature, such as other sticks, grass, flowers, and even weeds if you want. You can make different shapes. I made a square and a triangle. Some objects will be easier than others to weave, and you can have discussions about that. Number 7 is planting a garden. This is an herb garden, but you can do a vegetable garden if you want. You can plant seeds or purchase ones already grown. The children can help with watering and making sure the plants get enough light or shade. These can also be eaten, and the children can be the ones to harvest them. You also can practice cutting objects picked from the garden. Number 8 is watering. This is a really easy and fun activity. The best way to set this up is to fill a larger container with water and have the children fill their watering cans from that. This activity is great because it can help you out as a parent with watering your plants. Number 9 is a nature color hunt. This is probably my favorite activity. All you need is a piece of cardboard, paint, and a stick to make some holes. You can use any colors you would like. I use these colors based on the colors I had in my backyard, but you can add a lot more and even make it a bit more challenging with some colors that you're not sure might be out there. You can use this for your backyard, a nature walk, or even at the park. Afterwards, you can talk about what you found. The final activity is sink or float. This is a fun science activity that children will love. All you need is a bowl filled with water and some natural materials to test if they will float or sink. When an object floats or sinks, it's not about how heavy it is. It's about how dense they are. This activity introduces a term called density. Density is the measure of how much stuff there is in a given space. If an object is more dense than water, it will sink. You can gather some natural materials to show how it works, and then allow the children to find some objects on their own. You can even take it a step further and make a chart with the objects on one end and ask before what the children think will happen. Mark it down as an S for sink or an F for float. Afterwards, you can compare to see if their hypothesis was correct. Natural learning opportunities in nature. This means taking advantage of in-the-moment learning opportunities such as finding an ant on the ground or discovering a new type of flower. In those moments, don't dismiss them because you aren't ready to answer them or don't know how to. You don't need to know everything. Learn with children by being a co-learner. If you don't know, take a sample or a photo and do some research later together. Make investigating nature fun and exciting. Also, take time to question and discover together. Don't rush children on a walk. Allow the exploration so they can learn and wonder at their own pace. Encourage thinking about what they see, hear, taste, smell, and touch. Those sensory-rich experiences are important. On the next slide, there is an example of a natural learning opportunity from the nature walk I did. Enjoy. So this is a beaver path I found on my hike. And then I decided for the remainder of my hike that I would be looking for different evidence of where the beavers had been. And I kind of made it into a little bit of a game. So here are some photos and some videos that I took. So a beaver actually was gnawing on this right here, but then it eventually snapped off. So I walked by this little tree that I thought had been cut, and I thought that was a little strange. And then I looked at it further and saw that there were actually teeth marks from a beaver. And as you can see, there's little pieces on the ground. You can really see how rigid it is, and that is from the teeth. And it was definitely not cut by a saw or anything. If you would like to learn more about nature-based learning, check out these resources. The book Balanced and Barefoot is great for learning the importance of and benefits of nature, and A Little Bit of Dirt has over 50 activities to help reconnect children with nature. Also check out Pinterest for lots of additional ideas that can help you find activities based on children's interests. This concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you learned a little bit more about nature-based learning and you feel a little more confident about adding it to your program.